Have you ever punched 2,000 bugs in the face, killed a dragon, begged a time-traveling lizard for forgiveness, and got stuck farming reputation with an insect genocide squad, only to realize you're still on the first step of a questline? If you answered yes, you're either a liar or one of the few players per server who actually did the Scepter of the Shifting Sands questline in classic WoW. If you answered no, then buckle up, because this isn't just a quest. This is the most ridiculous, beautiful, soul-destroying odyssey ever created by Blizzard. And it all starts in the most peaceful place imaginable, the burning wasteland of Silithus. Silithus is a desert filled with bugs, bug cults, bug hives, and a giant cursed gate sealed shut by dragons. Nobody really went to Silithus unless they had to, but that's where it all begins. You walk past the Scarab Wall and you get that feeling. Something old is buried here. Something that really, really wants to get out. And then you find him, Barristolt of the Shifting Sands. He's not doing anything, just standing there in Cenarian hold, looking like he's seen the old gods and forgot how to blink. You click him and the madness begins. He tells you to find an Ahn'Qiraj, a bronze dragon who apparently knows what's going on. And by find, he means travel all the way to the Caverns of Time in Tanaris, which, back in Classic, meant you were gonna get lost. You get there somehow, and there he is, Ahn'Qiraj the Ancient, surrounded by elite bronze dragonkin that want to body you into the sand. Now, in true classic WoW fashion, Ahn'Qiraj doesn't just hand over any legendary artifact. No, he wants proof. So he gives you the first quest in this giant chain. Only one may rise. Your task? March into Blackwing Lair, kill Brood Lord Lashlayer, and bring back his head like a grotesque souvenir. That's it. Just waltz into a dangerous raid, defeat a Black Dragon lieutenant, and walk out with his skull in your bag. And you better carry a big bag. You know what the best part is? That's still the easy part. You do the kill, you turn in the head, and you get a nod of respect. Congratulations. You've impressed a time dragon. Now you have to earn his trust the real way by becoming neutral with the Brood of Nozdormu. Now let's pause here. Sounds easy, right? It's not, because you don't start at neutral, you start at hated. That's 36,000 reputation points below zero. It's like starting a friendship by throwing a rock at someone's face and then being told to knit them a friendship sweater before they'll talk to you. To climb out of that hate pit, Ahn'Qiraj gives you a trinket, the Agent of Nozdormu. With it, you can now start farming Silithid carapace fragments from elite bugs in the desert. You need thousands of them. 200 fragments equals 500 reputation. Do the math. Actually, don't, it hurts. And these bugs? They don't just die easily. Some burrow underground, some summon friends, some shoot poison. All of them drop fragments in random amounts. It's basically a rep grind designed by a sadistic entomologist. So you and your raid group, or whatever's left of them, start grinding. Day in, day out. You run from Hive Ashi to Hive Regal to Hive Zora until your bags are full and your spirit is broken. Guilds assign fragment runners. People trade them like currency. Silithus becomes a war zone of bug remains and screaming rogues trying to AoE pull. But eventually you reach neutral, and Ahn'Qiraj? He finally stops glaring at you like you murdered his children. He gives you a new quest. No more bugs. This time, he wants you to walk up to the Scarab Wall and touch a crystal. You find the crystalline red tear embedded in the sand, and when you click it, you get one of the most unforgettable lore scenes in the game. Ghosts of the past appear. You see Fandrel's Staghelm, the Archdruid, standing before Ahn'Qiraj and the shattered battlefield of the War of the Shifting Sands. His son, Valstan, has just been killed by General Rajax, torn apart by Kiraji soldiers in front of him. Fandrel is broken. In a fit of rage, he shatters the Scepter of the Shifting Sands, just smashes it right against the wall. The very thing that was supposed to unlock the gates and lead to victory, gone. The dragons stand in silence as he storms off. It's pure drama. If this were a Netflix show, this is where you'd hit the next episode button. And that's where you come in, because now Ahn'Qiraj tells you the truth. The scepter wasn't destroyed completely. It shattered into 3 pieces, the red, green, and blue scepter shards, each tied to a different dragonflight. One was lost to the Emerald Nightmare, one stolen by a corrupted red dragon, one hidden by a blue dragon who thought it would be funny to feed it to a fish. Your mission now is to retrieve all 3 shards, reforge the scepter, and become the bearer of a weapon so powerful that it can literally shatter the Scarab wall. You're not just helping Ahn'Qiraj anymore, you're stepping into the middle of an ancient war, one that never really ended. And if that doesn't sound overwhelming enough, just wait until you're knee-deep in goblin cooking recipes and molten core drops with names like Draconic for Dummies Volume 2. But it seems you're still here, still listening, and you haven't rage quit the quest yet. You might just be Scarab Lord material. Please like the video. If your bags are full of bug parts and trauma, subscribe if you've ever looked at a red crystal and seen your past mistakes. And if you've already done this quest, you are legally insane. Tell us in the comments how many friendships it cost you. The red shard is in Blackwing Lair. The green shard is trapped in a corrupted nightmare version of Moonglade. And the blue shard? That one got eaten by a fish. Not even kidding. Let's start with the green shard because it's the one that makes the least amount of sense, and that's saying something. You begin in the sunken temple talking to a glowing wisp. This isn't a side quest. This is the actual next step. You're basically talking to a haunted pixel of Malfurion Storm Rage's voicemail. From there, you're told the green shard is guarded by 4 nightmare dragons, Ysandre, Amaris, Terrar, and Lethon, and one very angry green dragon named Ahn'Qiraj, who fell so far into the Emerald Nightmare that he's now a raid boss with daddy issues. Each of the 4 dragons is a world boss. They spawn randomly, they drop fragments you need, and they're all covered in green goo that turns your healers into zombies and your tanks into fertilizer. If you were trying to solo this in Classic, you'd have better luck punching Sithun in the eye with white gear. Once you've gathered their corrupted essences, it's time for the final encounter, the Nightmare of Ahn'Qiraj. It happens in Moonglade, of all places, a peaceful druid zone suddenly filled with shadow creatures and screaming quest givers. Ahn'Qiraj lands, everything gets corrupted, and your job is to not die. You don't kill him, you just survive until Tyrande Whisperwind shows up and purifies him with moonlight and sass. Once he's cleansed, he goes, "Oh no, what have I become?" Does the noble dragon repentance thing, and bam, you get the green scepter shard, just like that. 1 down, 2 to go. Now we're heading into Blackwing Lair for the red shard, and this one is cruel. You get the quest from Vaelastras, the corrupted, right before he dies. He's on fire, he's angry, he's done. And he gives you a 5-hour timer to kill Nefarian before the shard despawns. 5 hours. From the moment you accept the quest. No second chances, no, oops, forgot to loot, just pressure. Nefarian is the final boss of Blackwing Lair. He commands every dragonflight, turns players into chickens mid-fight, and drops tier gear with names like Netherwind Shoulders of Disappointment. The catch is that the red scepter shard only drops for 1 person. So if more than 1 person has the quest, sucks to be the other guy. You defeat Nefarian, you loot the shard, and you exhale through your keyboard, because you are now 2/3 of the way toward reforging the scepter. Assuming your raid leader didn't log off during phase 3 or forget to give you Master Looter. And then there's the blue shard. It starts in Ashara, where you find a wandering blue dragon named Azregos, and he is not helpful. He basically says, "I got tired of people asking me for the shard, so I gave it to a fish." He literally fed it to a minnow, and to get it back, you need to talk to Narain Soothfancy, a gnome who lives near Steamweedle Port and builds insane devices while arguing with a parrot. Narain tells you he can help you summon the fish, but only after you gather 3 things: his diving goggles, his enchanted cookbook, and Draconic for Dummies Volume 2, which sounds simple until you realize each of those items is its own 6-step nightmare. First up, the goggles. Narain's notes say they're somewhere in Molten Core, so you're back in that raid, digging through lava dogs and lava lords, hoping to find a quest drop-off golemag that lets you see underwater sparkles. You fight fire with frustration. Next is the cookbook. For some reason, the recipe is guarded by Lord Lakmaerin, a giant elite Chimera in Feralis who spawns once per lunar eclipse and hits like a raid boss. You kill him, collect the recipe, and now you need to cook the 500-pound Chimera chops. That's not a joke. It's an actual quest item. You need to cook a roast so big it requires materials from Dire Maul, a farm run to gather 20 deep rock salt, and a soul willing to look up what the heck a Chimera tenderloin even is. Finally, the book, Draconic for Dummies Volume 2. It was torn apart and scattered across the world. You collect pages from Blackrock Depths, Onyxia's Lair, Stratholme, Dire Maul, and a gorilla cave in Ungro Crater run by Dr. Weevil. He has a mechanical eye, a lab coat, and an army of robot monkeys. You kill a gorilla named Number 2. You loot its corpse. You don't ask questions. After reassembling the book, cooking the roast, and getting the goggles, Narain finally builds you a mature blue dragon baiting buoy. You then travel back to Ashara and summon Maz, a giant mutant shark who swallowed the blue shard decades ago. You fight him in the water while dodging shark attacks and trying not to drown. When he finally dies, you loot his stomach. Inside is the blue Scepter shard. You now hold all 3 shards: green, red, and blue. It took dozens of bosses, multiple raids, hundreds of mobs, at least 1 cookbook, and a gnome with memory issues. You've survived nightmare, dragons, BWL drama, and a fish-related scavenger hunt that makes 0 sense even when explained correctly. And somehow, this is still not the hard part. You've done it. All 3 shards, green, red, and blue, are in your bag, glowing like radioactive debt. You return to Ahn'Qiraj, still brooding in front of the Caverns of Time, and hand them over like a student turning in a late group project. He nods. The bronze, red, green, and blue dragonflights appear around him in some kind of magical, synchronized lore circle, and together they reforge the Scepter of the Shifting Sands, the key that will open the Gates of Ahn'Qiraj. You're holding it. It's done. Except it's not, because the gates are still sealed shut, and Ahn'Qiraj just kind of smiles. That's when you realize this isn't just your quest anymore. This is now the whole server's problem. To open the gates, the entire server has to complete the war effort. This is a server-wide gathering mission where both Horde and Alliance must turn in literal mountains of materials. Copper bars, iron bars, thick leather, rune cloth, purple lotus, baked salmon, you name it. You thought your personal grind was over? Welcome to spreadsheet hell. Each faction has its own list, and Blizzard didn't make this optional. If the server doesn't finish the war effort, the gates stay closed, and your shiny new scepter is just a very expensive toothpick. So now you're watching your server's farmers, botters, guild leaders, and random auction house goblins come together in the most chaotic pseudo-economy Azeroth has ever seen. People form guild coalitions. Raiding guilds start paying gathering guilds. Entire zones are strip-mined. Horde and Alliance quietly trade with each other behind the mailbox like shady back alley dealers. You know it's serious when someone says, "We need more mages to fish." Eventually, maybe after weeks of turn-ins, the war effort finishes, and a 5-day countdown begins. The game warns everyone. Prepare for the opening of the Gates of Ahn'Qiraj. Everyone knows what that means. It's time to ring the gong. But here's the twist. Only 1 person per server can be the first to ring the gong, and that person gets the Scarab Lord title and the Black Chiraji resonating crystal, a legendary battle tank mount that can only be used inside Ahn'Qiraj. It's massive, it's rare, it's pure clout. Every rogue, druid, and guildmaster wants it, and you can't just walk up and hit the gong casually, because everyone else knows what's at stake. For the next 5 days, guilds fight tooth and nail to protect their chosen gong striker. They camp dragon spawns, they camp Silithus, they cut deals, they backstab each other. On PvP servers, it turns into full-blown digital trench warfare. You'll see 300 players outside AQ gates, warlocks summoning backups, rogues lurking in stealth, hunters putting traps under the gong. It's a battle royale where everyone is level 60 and full of salt. And when the timer finally hits 0 and the chosen Scarab Lord hits the gong, the world breaks. The 10-hour war begins. Ahn'Qiraj bursts open. Giant Anubisath warbringers and Qiraji destroyers pour out of the gates like a bug tsunami. The bronze dragonflight descends from the sky. You fight alongside Varrock Saurfang. NPCs throw themselves at the invaders. The servers can't handle it. Everything lags. Spellcasts don't go off. You move once, then teleport into a wall, but it doesn't matter. You're there. And it's not just Silithus. The invasion hits Tanaris, Barrens, Thousand Needles, Hinterlands. Multiple zones across Kalimdor go red with bug activity. Everyone scrambles. World PvP breaks out in the chaos. The ground shakes. Old God whispers echo in chat. General Rajax, Buru, the Gorger, Moam, they all come storming out of AQ 20 and AQ 40, just waiting for your raid group to wipe on trash mobs. 10 hours later, the event ends. The first gates are open, the raids are live. If you were fast enough to ring the gong during that window, you got the Scarab Lord title too. If not, you're just a regular bug killer like everyone else. But you were there, you saw it happen, you held the scepter, you joined the war, and even if no one remembers your name, you'll always remember the moment you stood at the gates of Ahn'Qiraj and everything fell apart. Like this video if you've ever turned in a single bandage to the war effort. Subscribe if you camp a world boss just to keep someone else from ringing the gong. And tell us in the comments, did your server finish the gates in time? Or are you still sitting on a scepter and a whole lot of trauma?